Good morning. Can just someone maybe confirm if I'm audible enough before we can start so that I ensure that you can hear me?
You're audible.
Okay, thank you so much. So I don't know if there's any kind of more formal introduction, maybe from the Corporate Careers Academy, or I just start. Can I proceed?
Good morning, Xavier.
Good morning.
I hope you can hear me. Yeah, welcome to the session. This is the Professional Career Day at Moi University, and we are glad to have you virtually. What is in there for me in terms of data? We have always spoken data is the new oil, so we just want you to take them through. Most of them may be not be doing a course in data science, but I also remember data is required everywhere with the new innovations. So I want you to take them through why they need these skills in data and what your organization does. Probably you could start by introducing yourself and what you do. Karibu to the session, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Livingstone, for the introduction. That's a brief about the event. My name is Xavier Aluku, and I'm the co-founder of African Center for Data Science and Analytics Limited. At the same time, I work as a lead data scientist at Finberg Capital Limited, and Finberg Capital Limited deals with digital lending, same as what Tala branch and, are doing. And my main role is to build data science machine learning models that assist me or the organization in knowing the customer, that uh, the right customer when we are issuing out these loans. So today, I'll be taking you through applications of data science and what we are doing as an organization. And as Livingstone has just stated, is that data is applied everywhere. And I have structured my presentation in such a way that, first of all, we look at what is happening globally before now narrowing down to the specific topic. So, first of all, we have what's called change and opportunity that is happening currently globally. And we have the main 7 disruptors that are happening. And these disruptors is what has led to the emergence of these careers in data science and so on. The first disruptor is that technology is everywhere. And as we are speaking currently, we have more than 6 billion smartphones in the world. Another disruptor is that artificial intelligence, cognitive computing, and robots have become more affordable. In 2008, for instance, for any organization to afford this kind of technology, you are required to pay about 500,000 US dollars. Currently, you are only required to pay about 22,000 US dollars. Then you have this technology. Another disruptor is that we have what called the tsunami of data. Um, the amount of data, in fact, it is said that 95% of the current data that is being produced globally was generated in the last that's 2 years. And I just want to give an example of how this data is generated, because I'm mostly speaking to the university students. Uh, Nowadays, when you go to TikTok, Facebook Reels, which one else? Instagram and so on. You find a lot of content creators. People are posting videos, dancing. Others are posting voice notes and so on. All that is data that is used to make decisions, be it in business decision, social decision, political, and so on. So whenever you post anything on social media, you are generating data. And that data, organizations are using that data to be able to come up with the informed decision. Another change, another disruptor is that we have change in nature of a career. Nowadays, for instance, today, if you are trained as um, maybe an accountant, that is what you could do the whole of your life. But nowadays, you will be trained as an accountant. But what is happening is that the skills you acquire will only last between 2.5, 5 years. After that, you need to go back to class and do reskilling. And we see nowadays we have, for instance, the accounting guys, we have units called data analytics in accounting and finance. When you go to the legal, we saw the other day that there was the first robotic lawyer that was able to, is it called, to preside over the case and so on in the US. So again, we are talking about the chat GPT currently. Maybe the academic writers, your time, is it that your time has come to an end due to such kind of technologies or not? And what do you need to do as an individual to continue being relevant? Then also, we have what we call explosion in contingent work. Um, then we have jobs that are vulnerable to automation. For instance, I was talking about jobs such as um, customer service. Nowadays, we have a virtual assistant. A robot can respond to the same question that someone in the customer service department was doing, and so on. Then we have diversity and generational change. Currently, millennials are reaching to 50% of the workforce. And let me just clarify about diversity and generational change. In the past, you could not go to any office to work without without maybe dressed in a suit, tie, and whatever. Nowadays, you can even walk. You can go to work with a jeans. You can work everywhere. And the funny thing about the millennials and so on in the workforce, these are people who don't care. The current generation don't care. Like if maybe uh, someone's manager has told her, eh, or, or if these guys have made a mistake and you try to correct them, they can even say tomorrow I'll not be coming to job, and that is it. They don't care and so on. So these are the main disruptors, the 7 disruptive trends shaping the future of work. And these disruptors they are bringing a lot of opportunities as well. So I want us to look, first of all, at the skills in Africa. It is said that this is youth skills and employment in Africa. It is estimated that 10 to 12 million youth in Africa enter the workforce each year, mostly without the required skills. And among these, 140 million are unemployed and discouraged, and this age bracket is 15 to 35. And we only have 3.1 million jobs that are being created. So this means that by 2025, it is estimated that 140 million young people will lack an economic stake in the system. And when you look here, is that even among those who are contributing to the economy, just give me a minute, I try to use the pointer. I don't know if I can use the pointer somewhere. Okay, let me just proceed because of time. I know we have other presenters, but I wanted to use a pointer. So when you see at this, we are having those youths that are contributing to the economy. We are having those that are not contributing to the economy. For those that are contributing to the economy, it is estimated that 35% are vulnerable. What does it mean? It means that yes, you are employed, you are paid a salary, but you cannot meet all your expenses. Like maybe you have a lot of dependents, you have your brothers and sisters, parents that you need to cater for their expenses and so on. And 15% rely on wages. Wages you are paid maybe on a daily basis and so on. Then among those that are not actively contributing to the economy, we have 31% are unemployed and discouraged, and 19% are inactive. Then a funny statistics here is that 52% of work activities in Kenya are susceptible to automation. It means that as we are going by, most of these jobs are going to be automated rather. But the question is, where will you be? Are you going to be part of the people who are automating this job, or you are going to be part of those people who are going to be replaced as a result of automation? Let me move to the next slide. So we have technologies. I don't want to deep dive so much here, but what is happening is that the automation continuum, it ranges from enabling strategies that are going to improve the business processes to sophisticated technologies with cognitive elements. So first of all, we have robotic process automation. Those ones mostly mimic human actions. For instance, you see in a factory, in the past, you find out that if you have been employed to fix a door, your work was just maybe to fix a front door of a vehicle if it was in a vehicle manufacturing assembly factory. But nowadays, we have robots doing so. That organizations have adopted robotic process automation. Then we have also what you call intelligence automation. Here, we are talking about these technologies that have been created that mimic human judgment. Like these are some of the technologies that are able to come up with, to respond to processes that require some kind of human judgment and so on. Then also we have what we call cognitive automation. These ones mostly are computerized model that simulate human thought processes through predictive decision making. Then, of course, we have what we call the futuristic, the artificial intelligence. These ones mostly now act like human beings and so on. So, so these technologies keep on improving, and mostly they involve those strategies that improve business processes to sophisticated technology with cognitive elements. Like all these technologies that have come up, the objective is to make sure that businesses become efficient in service delivery. So this is what a factory looks like today. Like you see robots are fixing, this is a motor vehicle assembly factory. You see the robots are fixing windows and so on. And this is how a typical office looks today. Most offices, this is how they look today. But now, in a few years to come, this is how professionals are going to be working. We are talking about like this guy is just one person coming to check what is happening from the dashboards. We are talking about self-driving cars and so on. So things are going to change a lot. So you can see here that we are having virtual reality. Virtual reality, for instance, is whereby if you want to have an experience of US, you just wear this gadget that this guy, for instance, is wearing, and you are able to have a visibility, like a real experience. We are talking about self-driving cars. We are talking about robots and so on. So this is how the future looks like. So I just want to pick one case study. I know Moi University have also actual students. This is a case study of an actual organization in the few years. You see, at 5 a.m., there's an automated robot that completes scanning of actual models, reserves. Then the output is sent to an analytics engine. That's at 5 a.m. At 6 a.m., the data from the modeling engine is staged on a Tableau. Tableau is a data visualization tool, or a Power BI, a server, and dashboards are refreshed. Dashboard is just how you can present your data in form of various visualization mechanisms like graphs and so on. So at 7 a.m., an automation software adds its narrative to the dashboard. Like, based on the results of the analysis, a software is able to say, maybe based on this data, this specific insurance company is supposed to put aside 10 million Kenyan shillings for it to cover for the claims in the next maybe 6 months and so on. A robot is doing that. Then at 8 a.m., the chief actuary has access to updated reports and narratives as soon as he or she arrives in the office. Like now, based on what the robot has done, the chief actuary now is able to check at the report. Then at 8:10, the chief actuary interacts with the chatbot to drill down into splits by channel. Like, the chief actuary now, who is a human being, is trying to ask maybe the chatbot, why are you saying that we need to put aside 10 million in the next 6 months and so on. Then at 8:15, the chief actuary further drills down into variance analysis with dropping margins. So let me just explain this whole process. Like currently, because I have also background in actual, currently what used to happen is that we have what called actual analyst. It's a team of guys that are doing the technical work. Then after that, now we have a chief actuary who is going to sign off whatever you have done. But you see here is that this change in technology has replaced all the analysts. So it means the organization will only need to hire one chief actuary. Instead of having maybe like Zamara, they have about 25 actual analysts. Instead of 25, they only need one chief actuary. Then it means 25 people do not have jobs. So you must think on where you will be. Are you going to be part of the people who are going to check these chatbots for actual work, or are you going to be part of those that are going to be replaced? So you see that work has changed, the transformation has happened. We have what you call augmented workforce. Nowadays in organization, we have people working with robots like chatbots. Maybe at night, it is a chatbot that is able to respond to customer queries. Then during the daytime, a human being. Then also nowadays, you have what you call open talent. Nowadays, it is not a must that you work for an organization for the whole of your life. You can be working on contracts. So it means nowadays that there's need for organization not to tie down their employees, but there's an importance. For instance, when I'm working for Jubilee Insurance, and working at Thaler and Finbury, you see those are diverse experiences that I'm getting from both those organizations at the same time. So there's a very in, um, there's a lot of importance in terms of what is happening nowadays, and this is where we are going. So, what are the implications to individuals, organizations? So, for you, students, what you need to do is that you are required to engage in lifelong learning. Secondly, you need to shape your own career path. Next, you need to pursue your passion, what you love and like. Then for organizations, of course, for this one, I want to go deeper, is that they need to redesign work for technology and learning. Secondly, they need to source and integrate talents across network. The same thing I was saying that I'm working at Jubilee, Tala, and so on. So there's that integration of talents. Then they need to implement new models of organization structure, leadership, culture, and rewards. Like with all these changes in data, are they willing to adopt the data strategy way? In terms of nowadays, people can work remotely. Are they willing to adopt a hybrid system of work and so on? Implications for the public policy, like the government, they need to reimagine lifelong education, a transition support for income and healthcare, then reassess legal and regulatory policies. Because what is happening nowadays, in the past, a company could come up with a 5-year strategic plan. Nowadays, if you come up with a 5-year strategic plan and stick to it, you will be out of business. Now these things keep on changing on a daily basis. So it means that organizations need to be shift in terms of adapting change and so on. Okay, so with regards to that now, I want us now to come to the main thing that I was supposed to present, but I just wanted to give a background. Just a minute. So we have what we call emerging professions. First of all, we have what we call data science. When we are talking about data science, we are talking about a cross-disciplinary field that seeks to extract meaningful insights from data. A cross-disciplinary field, it means that it cuts across. As Livingstone was saying when we started, that data is everywhere. So data science is a cross-disciplinary field that seeks to extract meaningful insights from data. For instance, nowadays, when you post all those videos to social media, TikTok, and so on, you might be interested to know what are people saying about my videos, what percentage is positive, what percentage is negative, what percentage is neutral, or among my videos that I have posted, based on the data generated, which one do people mostly like? Then from there, you are able to make a decision in saying that when I'm going to create my content, I'm going to create this kind of content. Then you see data science is wide, but we have sub-disciplines of data science. One is machine learning. Machine learning are algorithms. Algorithms is like a formula, a way of doing something, and they have ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Like you can just feed a few instructions and is able to learn on itself and keep improving. Like for instance, as I say that I do build models for scoring loans. So what we normally do, once you train this model using machine learning, you deploy it. So it keeps improving on itself based on data. Remember, on a daily basis, you acquire new customers. These customers pay these loans. So it is able itself now to extract the behavior and improve. Then we have what's called deep learning. It is a subset of machine learning. Mostly here, what is happening, this artificial intelligence models adapt and learn from new data set. When you're talking about now a lot of data and so on. Then another subset of data science is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence mostly We are talking about those tools that have that ability to learn and reason like humans. Like for instance, we are talking about Chat GPT. I don't know how many of you have tried to use the tool. Like it is able to give you what you need. However, it is not yet perfect, but I'm very sure it keeps on improving based on the data that is being fed in. So, what are the applications of data science? Uh, First of all, I want to say that data science is applied everywhere, but I have just highlighted a few here. One is agricultural technology. One application of data science is on estimating yields and capturing footages. Like nowadays, you can even build a machine learning application that is able to detect if your crops, like you just scan and is able to detect if your crops are healthy or not. Another one is legal technology, like law. In law, data science is able to predict outcome of cases based on what called NLP. That's natural language processing. For those people, I know Moi University has a law school. You see what normal happens in any judgment. I normally see they refer in a case of maybe so and so versus so. This was what was agreed. Therefore, so you see that's historical data. So you just need to feed what the case entails, and uh, this data science machine learning model is able to predict, to tell you what the outcome of that case involves. Support center, call center routing, and chatbot. We have seen nowadays when you go to so many websites, you just interact with a chatbot and is able to give you what you need. In human resource, nowadays, most organizations, when hiring, you see, the initial stage is automated. You are being told to upload your CV. Then you get a feedback instantly if you are going to proceed forward or not with your application. So that's why we tell people nowadays you need to customize your CV based on the job. That's the job description. Because if this model, machine learning and data science model, is not able to pick out what it is required, then you will be locked out. Retail, those people in logistics, supply chain, data science is used in optimizing supply and demand planning in supply chain management. Like you are able, using historical data, you are able to predict, to know during this season, maybe during a rainy season, a lot of umbrellas are being sold. Uh, Maybe also during a sunny season, maybe a lot of females, those that have small kids, are taking them to the clinics, have buy umbrellas. Then you are able to optimize that we need this quantity at this time. Then in finance, we use data science in fraud detection, process automation, and so on. In healthcare, we use it in drug discovery and image diagnosis. You see, nowadays, when you go to hospitals, mostly they take specimen of your blood, then it is taken through uh, uh, that process of lab testing and so on, with some reagents. If the color changes, I don't know, from blue to yellow, then maybe you have malaria and so on. But nowadays, you see malaria, um, the female anopheles mosquito, I think that is how it is called, that causes malaria. It has those, I don't, okay, that mosquito has that parasite that causes, I don't know if it's a bacterial parasite. I did biology long time ago. But what is happening, it has a shape, a specific shape that is unique. So what can happen nowadays, when you take that specimen of blood and able to scan it using machine learning models, is able to detect without even going further into laboratory and so on. Another one is recommender system in technology general. Recommender system, I know most of you guys like watching videos on TikTok, YouTube, Netflix, and so on. So you find out that if today I go to TikTok and watch one video on football, the next video again, it comes just based on football, and so on. So what is doing that? this data science or machine learning model is recommending based on my past behavior. We have what called the search engine. Search engines, when you go to Google and search something, you are able to get various outcomes of what you are looking for. Email spam filters and matching problems, like we are able to, Google is able to detect if this is a spam email or not, and so on. So what are the initiative plans that you need to do as a student? You have seen that this is a course for everyone. No one is exempted. One, you need to invest. You need to invest your time, money, and effort to train your mind. Secondly, you need to intern and explore. We normally say do the dirty work to gain experience, because I think two more university students whom I follow so much on LinkedIn that have really taken their step in this data science and so on. And I have been following them closely, attending bigger events and so on. So that is called intern and explore. I'm sure these people, maybe they are not even paid, but they know that after here, this is where I'm going to be. Then you need to focus. You identify an industry, you create space for yourself, you become an expert. Then impact, it means you influence and practice. So the key takeaways is that demand for data analytics skills is increasing as the business landscape transforms, and it is transforming very fast. Another takeaway is that how professionals do their work is fundamentally changing and will continue to change. Then change is happening at increasing rate, and this has been led by exponential technologies. Also, there are opportunities for efficiency and increased added value. Then there's need to embrace, promote, and manage this change. So that's the end of my presentation. So maybe before I give room for questions and so on, maybe you can ask where can I start about this data science and so on. So at Afri CDSA, we are an edutech company. We have been training both corporates and university students through boot camps, and we have been working with Corporate Careers Academy to do this in other universities. We have never done it at Moi. So we have these programs. Maybe you can always reach out to Corporate Careers Academy, then they are able to guide you or direct you to our team who is willing even to come again and take you through virtually, to take you through even a free 1 week course on just introduction and overview about this data science. That is what we are willing to do always. So thank you so much for your time. I want just to take back to Livingstone.
Thank you very much, Xavier, for that. I think you have a lot of training sessions for students. We've seen a number who have indicated they want to learn more about data science. Probably we can now organize more focus sessions and discuss more and the careers and all that. Thank you very much for keeping your time. So I wish to now from data science, what we can pick from there is data science is for everyone, irrespective of the course you do. Even a pastor will now require to use data science to be able to tell how will be the size of the congregation in the next few years. I believe, look, we need to move to that level now. Data science in the region.
Yeah, sure.
Good. So I want to invite one of our speakers who is coming next, Engineer Nyango. Engineer Nyango works with the Kenya Airways. She's going to share with us. Maybe, Aluku, you can stop sharing. Yes, Engineer Nyango works with the Kenya Airways. She's talked to us about what are the opportunities in the aerospace and the airlines industry. Engineer, hope you can hear me.
I can hear you loud and clear, Livingstone.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
You have a presentation?
No, I don't.
Okay. Then you can proceed.
Okay. So, yeah. Sorry about that.
You can start by introducing yourself, what you do, and then I will. Yes.
First of all, thank you so much, corporate academies, career academies, for inviting me to give you a glimpse of the aviation industry in Kenya. My name is Nyango Mondi. I'm an aircraft maintenance engineer at Kenya Airways. I studied at the Technical University of Kenya. I did aeronautical engineering, airframes and engines option. I went for attachment at Kenya Airways for 6 months. And after school, I was an intern for 1 year at Aviation, where I was in the planning and development department, and also I was a records officer apprentice. After 1 year, I left that place for Bush Air Safaris, and I worked at Bush Air Safaris as a quality assurance engineer. So I joined KQ as an asset officer in 2014. And in 2017, I changed roles to an aircraft maintenance engineer, a position that I hold till date. So records and assets is actually looking after the actual aircraft records. That is the aircraft logbooks. Aircraft do have logbooks like cars. You look at the logbooks, the inspection records to ensure that the aircraft are being inspected in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendation and also with the recommendation of what you took. As we have this thing called a maintenance planning guide. That is how you explain how you're going to inspect aircraft, and you're supposed to adhere to it. Because you know the way aircraft are in air, you really need to have you really need to set how you're going to inspect them and stick to it so that you maintain your safety ratings, as well as making sure that your passengers are safe and whatever you are exporting. So planning, I told you that I also work as a planning engineer. Planning involves tracking the aircraft inspections and preparing a detailed job card to explain to the person who's actually doing the maintenance of the aircraft exactly what you need to do when you're inspecting or doing an operational check to an aircraft. So long story short, that's what I do. But I was invited to talk about how to join the aviation industry in Kenya. I've looked at the courses that Moi University offers. That is the School of Aerospace Science. And that is a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Science. And I've seen that you also do CPLs, the Commercial Pilot's License, the Private Pilot's License, the multi-engine and instrument ratings after you've done the Commercial Pilot's License. That's very good if you want to join the aviation industry as a pilot. Because for instance, in Kenya Airways, which is the main employer of most pilots in Kenya, we have this program called the AB Initio program, where they onboard people who already have the CPL. No, that one, they take you directly from university once you have a degree and they train you. But to join the piloting, to join KQ as a pilot with that program, you need to have a first degree in any field. Any field, first degree, you apply through the portal. Then if you qualify with they have a, what can I say? They have the requirements that they give when they advertise for the job. If you meet all the requirements, they will invite you for an interview, do specific tests, then they'll take you for training in South Africa. So once you're taken for the training and you pass all the trainings there, they bring you back here and they convert the license that you've gotten in South Africa to a Kenyan license. So in that respect, that is one of the most relevant courses that you have that you can directly join the aviation industry in Kenya. Another way you can join the aviation industry in Kenya is through aircraft maintenance. I've seen from your website that soon you'll be offering a degree in aircraft maintenance in collaboration with the East African School of Aviation and Oklahoma State University, as well as the Shenyang Aerospace University, which is very good because in Kenya, we actually do not have design, aerospace, like aeronautical engineering design option. We have the aircraft maintenance where we only do maintenance. We don't do design. But if you're interested, if you've done design, you can get, okay, because it's in Kenya, you can't get a job that specifically does design, but you can adapt. Other ways you can adapt if you've done design is joining as a development engineer, where you collaborate directly with the aircraft manufacturers and make maintenance instructions more clear to the maintenance team, as well as the planning engineers. So if you've done design, and other options you can seek are Boeing Aircraft Company, Airbus, Embraer, Bombardier, where you can join and practice your skills of what you've actually studied. So first of all, to join the industry, you need your academic certificates. Then one thing I will really preach is you need to be adaptive. When you get into the industry, sometimes you will not get a job of exactly what you studied or exactly what you prefer. What I would encourage you to do is be adaptive, be resilient. And when you're given an opportunity, even as an intern, sharpen your skills as much as possible. Sharpen your skills and look for a way of trying to get to your goal with whatever you have currently. So for me, when I finished school, and that is the same for everyone, especially for maintenance engineers and also pilots, you'll have to work at Wilson Airport for a while. Wilson Airport, most of the activities there are a bit informal. So you will go to Wilson Airport, and there are more than 30 companies there. Apply for a position of relevance to what you've studied. If you've studied piloting, you look for work as an instructor or as a, I hope that glare isn't distracting you too much. You look for, as a pilot, you look for a job as an instructor or as a charter pilot to build your hours, so that once a more lucrative opportunity comes, you still have, you remain relevant, and your skills are still intact. Because with aviation, there's this thing of you need to have recent skills. So if you went to school 5 years ago and you've never practiced in your field, you're not considered current. Most companies require you to be current within 6 months of the last 1 year. Most, not even companies, but the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority regulations. Another way you can join the aviation industry is through being an air traffic controller. And that one is mostly controlled by the Kenya Aviation Authority. Kenya Airports Authority, sorry. They have a graduate trainee program where after they advertise, you can apply and they take you through the training. Once they take you to the training and you meet all the requirements of the job, they will absorb you into their company. Another way to join the aviation industry, and I've seen it in your site, is through aviation security. That's also a function of the Kenya Airports Authority, but also most of the airlines require aviation security specialists. So with that, all I can say is you need to adapt and be available to the available jobs and find a way of getting back to what your initial goal was. And among the most emerging roles in aviation are OSHA positions like safety officers. I remember I recently went for an aviation safety conference, and we realized that with time, they're planning to have remotely flown aircraft, like an aircraft with passengers and no pilots. But before that, they're going to start with currently we have 2 pilots in an aircraft, a co-pilot and the captain. So the captain is the commander of the aircraft, but 2 of them fly together. First of all, with the new technologies, they're going to design aircraft where there's only space for 1 pilot. And with time, the pilots are going to have to fly the aircraft remotely. As Xavier was saying, you have to be part of the automation. Are you going to change with the times, or are you going to be replaced with the automation? So even if you're studying piloting, you're supposed to have that in mind, that with time, you are supposed to be able to adapt to being a remote pilot on ground, and maybe the schools will also start offering courses on such after that technology is taken, has been taken to the various stages of research, and they've come to a conclusion that that's what they will really want. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was also for maintenance. Things have really changed. Before, when an aircraft had a problem, you had to go and really try and find out what the problem is. But now automation has also come where the aircraft have computers. So you do fault diagnosis and through the computers, and they tell you this is the problem and this is the corrective action. But also some part of the automation involves human interaction. You need to be the one who goes and interrogates the system and finds out what exactly is wrong and do the corrective action, because the corrective action cannot be done by the computer. And also an aircraft like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner has notifications to the manufacturer. When there's a major fault with the aircraft, Boeing gets an alert from the system and they tell you your aircraft has this, you need to check that before you fly it again. So I don't want to talk too much about this. I will just allow you during the Q&A to ask if you have any question about other ways of joining the aviation industry, but I'm very glad to have been given this opportunity to talk to you guys. And thank you so much. Livingstone, back to you. Livingstone.
So thank you very much, engineer. I believe that was an eye-opener. So maybe the question students usually ask is, should I be a pilot to work at KQ? Probably, maybe aerospace. What are some of the maybe opportunities there? If you could mention that just shortly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I did, but I can mention them again. You can join, for instance, KQ or any other airline. You can join as a pilot. You can join as an aircraft maintenance engineer. You can join as a planning engineer, the ones who schedule maintenance. You can join as a cabin crew. You can join as a security expert, because of, you remember after 9/11, security has been taken very seriously. You can join as a safety person, safety in terms of maintenance safety or flight operation safety, that is pilot safety. You can join as a structural engineer, aircraft structures, that is the aircraft skin, the structures like the landing gears, and check for the integrity of such. You can also join as a quality assurance engineer. Yeah, but for piloting, mostly it's just, piloting is just the training and application. If you meet the requirements and you pass the simulation test, they usually take you through an interview, a competency-based interview in a simulator, and see how you'd handle different conditions in flight. And if you pass those, then you get hired.
Wow, thank you very much. So with my degree in religion, I can also join KQ.
Yes, you can. They need for it's called ab initio program. As long as you're below 28 years and you have a degree in any field and you pass the simulation, they take you through the training in South Africa and you pass the simulation test, you can join with any degree, a degree in any field.
Wow. So thank you very much, engineer, for your time. We really appreciate setting your time to speak to these young people. They are looking forward to be a better engineer in future and maybe get opportunities. So we look forward to more engagements. I want to take this program back to Philip Pande. Philip Pande will take it over now to the next speaker. Maybe questions will come in. We'll be able to share them with you. I believe you'll be with us for some time. Philip and the team, back to you. Hello, Philip. Raymond, hope you can hear us. Philip, Raymond, hope you can hear us. Okay.
At a hitch in our set. We've had speakers from actually 3 speakers so far. The first one was Xavier Aluku from Xavier works with thank you. Xavier works with Africa Center for Data Science and Analytics. He's made a presentation. We were also listening to Engineer Anyango Mondi, who is an aircraft maintenance engineer with Kenya Airways. At some point within the program, Mr. Charles Maina maybe will be here to speak to us on mediation and basically skills on alternative dispute resolution. They're not just important to lawyers, but to anyone that would be interested in peace building, in careers around community development, in areas around actual development field. Then Bernard Kariuki will join us virtually from the African Management Institute. He's a trainer, head of corporate training for Pan-African region. I will briefly speak to us on the role of the corporate academy, especially in leadership, innovations, and self-employment. And then finally, we listen to Jen Ikonyo, who will talk to us on the future of work. Jen will also join us virtually. But we'll have a representative of CASNEM, Collins of Como. I think he's on his way. He'll join us briefly. We'll also have a moment. Then, because this is an interactive session, we are going to give an opportunity to comrades to ask questions. So as the speakers are talking to us, so here, please note down questions. They will come in at the tail end so that we are able to address your needs, in particular to the questions that you will ask. Okay, we also have Anne Chomba, CPA Anne Chomba, representing. Anne, if you're around, please wave and you could join us on the podium. And if you're around, please join us up here. Thank you. So, Livingston, you may proceed now virtually as we usher in the other speakers. As we allow the other team members to settle, Livingston, you have a moment now, please proceed.
Yeah, thank you very much, Philip, and thank you, students, for joining this session. Sorry for the short interruptions we had in the morning. That's the nature of life, and I believe we are learning from there. So we are glad to have you this morning, and since time is a little bit spent, I'll wish maybe, Philip, we can move to the next speaker if they are available. Our online speakers are all available, so you can just move as we wait. Miwi is on his way, and as well as Kasnep. So kindly proceed.
Livingston, we are saying that if you could proceed with the next online speaker, then that would be great as we wait for Charles to settle.
Okay, Philip, we move to the next speaker. Okay, just a minute. I need to confirm. Just a minute.
their spaces. But students are not skilled with extra resources to seek opportunity elsewhere. But if you're trained as a teacher, then you end up as a teacher and nothing more. If you're trained as an engineer, you end up as an engineer and nothing more. Is that the real case? Is it? We've seen people, for example, working in the banking industry that are not bankers by profession, right? We've seen many teachers refusing to go to school. How many are learning to be teachers? Training to be teachers at the end of the day? How many? I want to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21,